Dude, this was one of our very first rooms. I hope that's a bug. I don't know what that is.
That's gotta be. There's no way that's not. He's literally T-posing.
Because what happens is you get in the dev teams and some people are like, I don't like story, I don't play for story.
Yep. Oh my god, that actually scared me.
Sometimes you just run out of time to solve all of the problems a mechanic presents.
Ladies and germs, I am here once again with Chuck Beaver. He was an original dev on the original Dead Space, both as a writer and a producer, and we are reacting to the Dead Space remake.
Very excited. Let's do it. All right, so we're doing chapter 7, right? We're in.
Yes, sir.
Did we finish the coffee lung people? And now what's our goal? What do we do?
We have to go to the mining deck.
Can I just stop gushing on the suit?
I literally was like, I'm gonna turn the camera and Chuck's gonna be like, the suit looks fantastic.
It's just because I don't know which one we're on now. Maybe this is suit 2, but it always just strikes me, and it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's a hero suit, and it is 3/4 in frame right there, you know. And if you're on this level of fidelity, it should be rendered like that, and it's such a celebration every time. And you know, we didn't have that on the previous consoles, right? We weren't able to celebrate so strongly the visual fidelity.
The mining deck systems are running haywire. Great. Let me work on the elevators.
I like this game.
Any idea where Temple's SOS beacon might be?
I'll check the mining control room. The launch tubes there could send out a beacon easy.
Anyone there?
Hammond? Where are you?
In the vents, hoping they don't hear me.
Yeah, those things are everywhere.
I'm hiding.
I'm hiding.
No, the unitologists. They're all here on the crew deck. They've lost it. One of them stabbed her friend in the head. He just stood there. He fucking smiled. They're going somewhere.
Hammond! Shit. Lost the signal again. We gotta find that beacon, Isaac. Fast.
I love this so much. So they kind of got Hammond going on another adventure. Maybe we overlooked him in the first game where he wasn't accounted for very long, and then he kind of shows up just to die with the brute scene, right? So he might have. I'm happy his embellishment here seems pretty solid.
Yeah. I'm hiding in the vents.
I'm in the vents. I hope they don't hear me. It's nice to give these two, you know, some sense of
Hello, sir.
presence in the story.
Right.
What's going on?
Oh no.
Yep. This is another one of our sequences. You're on this slow-moving platform. Guess what's gonna?
Things are probably gonna start.
You're probably gonna
kill
get
me.
ganked pretty bad. Here we go. That sounds great.
I was talking to one of my buddies who didn't play the original, and he was playing through the remake, and he's just like, the atmosphere is crazy. He's just like, just being around. I'm like, I know, the sound design is okay.
Just so good.
Stop. Go away. Go away. Oh, the lights are off too.
I know, and all you have is this horror flashlight.
Yeah.
It's just so good. There's a lot of value in honoring the escapism that people want when they come to a horror setting, as opposed to just hallways of monsters to shoot and only being the shooting mechanics, right? There's this other piece. There's this existence in the world that is as much of the experience as the combat. So that's really fun that this really brings that piece way up.
It's interesting that you say that there's an escapism to just a horrible, horrible place like the Ishimura, but it's true. Like, there's a reason why people want to escape to a place that's probably worse.
Gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Do you think it's the horror, the entire
Traps there.
traps ahead? Is it the entire horror genre is going into an incredibly scary place, but being safe? Like there's that weird, that's the emotional duality that you're engaging there.
Yeah.
So this is certainly that.
Exactly. I think it's kind of why people tend to be there's a lot of people who love like those true crime shows right now, where it's just like, yeah, it's pretty messed up, but there is some kind of fascination with the morbid and the grim.
Oh, you block it with the thing. I forgot about this
I
mechanic.
assume this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yes, sir.
So please don't kill me.
Blocky McBlockface.
I must take this block with me now.
Oh,
Oh,
is this your companion cube?
the companion cube. I don't hate you.
I don't hate you. This needs a little happy face on it.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Because when you're in this setting, is this a? I think this may have not been on purpose.
Oh, I think that is a bug. I hope it's a bug. I don't know. Can you interact with it?
Hello? No, it says it's friendly. Welcome to T-Pose, man. I'm here to save the day.
That is amazing. I hope that's a bug. I don't know what that is.
That's gotta be. There's no way that's not. He's literally T-posing. This is the scariest thing
Yeah.
we've seen so far.
It's pretty
Oh,
solid.
no,
What's
bug.
is it gonna come to life and eat me? I don't know.
Hi, hate to interrupt the video, but I just wanted to remind you that if you like this video, please leave us a thumbs up and let us know in the comments what you think about the remake or if you have any questions for Chuck. And also consider subscribing. We have a lot more of the series to come out, and also might be a little surprise if you stick around for another couple episodes. Thanks for watching.
Were you a horror fan before you worked on Dead Space?
Not as much. Like it wasn't my. I'm a sci-fi guy, right?
Right.
And so, oh no, this is a bad thing.
Take that.
Exactly.
Just cut his hand. Cut him in half.
But to be fair, like the artistry of the first Alien movie is undeniably perfect. Like that movie is just a piece of art, and so you can enjoy what they're doing,
Right.
and then suddenly realize you're like, oh, I think I like horror.
Exactly. Well, that's I was telling you, like when I first saw Alien when I was younger. This was probably around the first time I played Dead Space as well. Around that same time frame, I was like terrified.
Oh yeah.
Of the original. I didn't sleep for so long, I was hallucinating.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
I was just scared. And for years after, I slept with my sheets over my face because I was scared of face huggers. I thought like the sheets would, like literally for years.
I remember being drawn to the Alien thing because the world building was so strong in the same way that Star Wars was insanely strong, because Star Wars was used future, very relatable, like you could see yourself in it. It wasn't some like shiny sci-fi where everyone's wearing like silver unitards for some reason,
Right.
and like, you know, kooky helmets. Like it was just super real, and you were like the first time you'd ever been so immersed in a world. And then Alien did that for the horror genre, and I just was like, I didn't know at the time, but I love that craft so hard, like immersion in these worlds, because that's, in my opinion, a lot of people come to see other worlds,
Right.
that are imagined. It's the fantasy and fairy tale of it is what's a big draw. So,
Yeah.
like rooms like this really just sell it. You're like, no, I just want to. You want to go touch everything because you can almost, and
Yeah.
click buttons. And what happens here?
Whoa, asteroid.
Oh, this room! I love this room, dude. This was one of our very first rooms. We were trying to figure out our zero-G mechanic, and we launched across into the thing. You stood on the asteroid, you know, this big round ball, and somehow because we were having to figure out the gravity systems and calibrating what the the gimbals were for the character where the player walked. So we walked on that thing, and you could walk outside on it. We're gonna get into it in a minute. But like,
For authorization.
Yeah. Something tells me he's
Finally
dead.
getting somewhere with the mining duct systems. Got the SOS beacon?
No, and the launch tubes are sealed. I need a deck administrator's rig to get them open.
The deck admin is Supervisor Dallas. He's on the processing subdeck. I've got rig activity for a Jacob Temple 2 maintenance subdeck. Maybe he left the SOS beacon there. Just hope you can reach it through these malfunctions.
Not malfunctions. Traps.
oh, nice.
The miner's way of holding the line.
This is so great. It's nice, like they're talking about how what the miners did on the Ishimura to survive, and they're having to kind of get through the aftermath. There's a little honorific thing going on. Supervisor Dallas, I'm going to say that's a nod to Alien, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. What is that?
I can't wait to get that asteroid room. Yeah, I have a huge amount of nostalgia for that room because that was one of the very first playable prototype sections that we stood up, you know, with pixels, you know, on the screens for our initial investigation of the whole property. And it was like these two gimbals are on it, like crossing back and forth, so you had to be careful not to get hit by those things. And it was just the first time we saw the promise of what the franchise was going to be
Whoa,
mechanically.
look at this.
That's great. And what are those? Are those?
Asteroid pieces? Oh yeah, because there's the asteroid being chopped up.
It is the asteroid being chopped up and sending pieces through. God, my whole brain, like I did 3 of these Dead Spaces, right? So I'm like, which one was this in? This was in Dead Space 1, right?
Yeah, apparently.
I don't,
Look
yeah,
at
where there
this
wouldn't have
little
been an asteroid eater on Dead Space 2. So never mind, yeah. Because I remember all the development of these spaces. Oh, did the guy finally find his animation bank?
He found his pose. He's like, oh.
Okay.
That's like in Toy Story when when Andy comes in the room, they're like, we just have to freeze where we are. And then he turns around, they're like, ah.
He's like, okay, he left. Go back to where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid. Ooh. Whenever you use real physics, sometimes the sim does things like that. So now in the story, you have to go, things have gone so poorly, the Kellion was destroyed, what are you going to do? Well, we need an SOS beacon, right? We got to call for help. So that's the next logical thing, right, as the story escalates towards what you're supposed to be doing. So we're still in a good, therefore, but
Right.
construction narratively.
Hey, Liz, it's Jacob. I couldn't reach you. If you find this, I'm off deck, but I'll be right back. I got a call from another survivor. He sounded terrified. I'm gonna lock up the SOS beacon and go and get him. Best launch window's not for a while. Anyway, and he sounds like he's worth the risk. He's a doctor. Mercer, I think.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Time. We got a fucking break. I love you. Please, be careful.
I love this so much. They gave Temple a presence and a character model and a speech and a thing, and this was great foreshadowing and unpacking of what happened to him, because he obviously got into the wrong place with
Yeah.
Mercer, who basically, does he stab him in the head or turns him into an experiment?
Processing has been lost.
Ah, so
I like
good.
this because now you can see where they were setting up blockades.
Yeah,
here.
right? Don't you just love like walking through the aftermath of this? It's so good.
Yeah.
Wow, this they are not shying away from their lighting engine. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
Wow. That is gorgeous.
No.
Stop.
Stop. Get off.
He's coming. He's
Get
coming.
up.
Look at his
Oh,
eyes
God.
in the dark. What a great animation. He's just like stalking you. I love that so much. Yeah, the Ripper is, right behind the plasma cutter was the Ripper, was one of my favorites.
Is the plasma cutter was your favorite?
Yeah, it was overly perfect, right? It was just this, it was matched to the cut their limbs off so perfectly well that it was like, look at the cool boot in the light. Like, what a great, what set dressing, excellent set dressing that is. I'm
excited to see if they have, because this is now Isaac's realm, right? This is where the mining deck, so this is where he would be hanging out with all of his buddies.
Oh, a stasis thing in its storage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an engineer actually. I thought we had him as a miner, but I think he would be very familiar with mining tools. Oops.
I guess there's an AoE to that.
Yep.
Oh my god, that actually scared me.
Success! Dead Space! You did it!
He ran right into the stasis. That was all according to plan.
Yeah, it was everything you meant to do. It wasn't, yeah, he's an engineer, and so he will be very close cousins with the miner stuff, the miner tools. But this is a mining ship, so he'll be like, well, I know how to use, what's here.
I see.
Oh, look at that cool dory. Look at that.
We're going to enter 0G, I think.
Yeah.
Yay. Whee.
The control room door can't open until gravity is restored, but the system won't reset the gravity while there's loose debris.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Processing beam still running. Stand by.
Wow, beautiful. Look at this thing. Yeah, we remember trying to figure out puzzles to use, TK and stasis with. So that's what this is you had to basically, for whatever, reasons, shoot the asteroids into the field, so.
Because problem and things.
Yeah. You're forever trying to hide, the reason to use the mechanics inside the story so that it feels organic.
Yeah.
Right, that's the job of the story folks. So, and that was one of the criticisms I think of the very first Dead Space, when people, not a bad one, but they were like, he seems like an errand boy, like he's just doing stuff, and there's an endless supply of things that are wrong.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, with Isaac speaking, nicely done.
Oh,
What?
okay. Apparently that didn't kill him.
Whoa, maybe he jumped out of range. So I don't know how you're feeling, like if you feel like you're doing, it feels like you're participating more in it than not just being told errands. So it's kind of, do you get the sense that there's just like an endless supply of things going wrong? Still, like, you know what I mean? Could that be sweetened where the mission objectives could be more teased out?
I think it still makes, who is shooting at me? There he is. It still makes sense, right? Like in any game, there's going to be like, oh, there's done something wrong. You have to go fix it. Otherwise, you're going to have nothing to do. But because he now has much more agency, it doesn't feel like people are just telling me what to do. Where he's like, oh, obviously this is what's wrong in this room, so I know how to fix this. This is what I need to do.
That sort of makes sense. Like gravity is off, and like this is only telescoped a couple of segments. Like when I talk about narrative level design in my current job, we just call it telescoping, where you have like, you got to do this to do the thing to get the thing to do the thing. It's like, how many of those can you handle? This was another attempt at a room that is multi-state, right? So it had no gravity to begin with, unlike the centrifuge, which started with gravity and became no gravity. This one started 0G and then switched over, and these platforms came up around.
Yeah.
So it's not quite as splendid as the centrifuge, right? But it's still as effective as a fun dual state room, right? And you did stuff to change the state, which is always very powerful for agencies. So when you play other games that are sort of immersive world, like MMOs that are big, do you ever actually take the time to sit and just look around at what the artists have done? Or are you busy chasing a map? Like what's your experience?
I'm much more.
Oh, Dallas is rigged.
Dallas is rigged. Security level 3.
Supervisor Dallas.
Hi, Dallas.
Final log. At least if I
Looks like
don't
something bad
have
happened to you.
any limbs,
Oh, we cut off all his limbs.
Oh. Oh my
I
God.
can't kill anyone when I'm infected.
Wow, that's dark.
That's yeah. It's not okay, Dark.
Tell Dawn and the kids that I love them.
Oh, gross.
Are we gonna live through him de-lemming himself? Well, it is a horror game.
Yeah.
Are they really doing this?
Yeah.
What? Oh my lord.
His leg's just here. I got your leg.
I might have like blown myself up. I don't know about actually
Yeah.
dismembering myself live on a rig, on a log. Goodness gracious me.
That was dark.
That was really dark.
You were talking about like atmosphere and oh no.
Here's some.
Here's. You like this?
Have some more atmosphere, Brian. Okay.
I'm gonna turn this corner. There's gonna be guys there.
Yeah. Anytime in a horror game you can turn off the lights and use just your flashlight, classic horror.
I like that.
It's just really solid because it basically removes information from the frame, which is horror.
Stop doing that.
That's so good. This is so creepy. Like, what fell? Was it just a vent?
It's just the guy in the vent that ran away. I really actually like exploring. Like that's actually what I strive for when I'm playing something like an MMO. Like I know a lot of the gameplay now is like, oh, you want to get all the best gear and you want to, level up and you want to have bigger number, better person. But what I loved about playing, I played a ton of World of Warcraft back in the day, was just, I would just explore. I would just run around and I would just find new lands. And for me, that was really motivating and I really liked that. And so anyway, back to this is like, I think there's a lot of draw that I get from this, which is just like exploring the world, finding what's around the next corner, even if it's terrifying,
But I think that's so, I don't say it's underappreciated. I think people really know that. But like when you're making the games, then bothering to spend the time to build the world in a way that unpacks for whoever wants to scratch the surface.
Right.
That's important. Like you can't just slap stuff, haphazardly together
Yeah.
in some way and expect because what happens is you get in the dev teams and some people are like, I don't like story, I don't play for story, I don't want any of this stuff. And if they're decision makers, that makes it difficult for you to spend time and resources on world building, right? And let alone the story, right? Because they're like, no one's going to pay attention to it. People are just going to click through or skip it all, right? And you're like, so look, I have this conversation all the time.
Yeah.
Get past this log.
Hammond? He must be.
He's just hiding in the vent. Oh no, the marker.
Oh, he's hiding the vent with the marker. Oh,
Oh, the
the
unitologists.
unitologists are actively bringing the marker on while the Ishimar, that's brand new.
Oh no.
Oh, it's causing him to be dementia-y. Oh, it's so good.
That was the marker. Did you?
No. I didn't see anything.
Yes, you did.
Wow, she's lying.
I lost Hammond's signal again. Just get the SOS speaking. I want off this fucking ship.
I love her. So what's great is that they're pulling from, now that because we rendered like the entire history of when Ishimura first got here, how they got, started the mining colony, finding the marker, like all the stuff that happened even before the Ishimura got here. So they have enough details. If they wanted to move those events around and push some into the frame of Dead Space 1, they know enough to do that without really breaking stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what they've done is to add a little bit more.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah, oh god. Cease infectors are so great. Because that means any dead body around you is potentially going to be an enemy if you don't get ahead of it.
Yep.
Like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this section was particularly hard. So I love that they're doing that. That's really sweet. So they're still active. Like he's not just playing in the dead aftermath of what happened.
Yeah.
There's still things that are going on that they
there's
know about.
actively things that are.
Oh, your favorite guy? Yeah, actively have to do that stuff.
Die.
It might be hard to discuss what I was talking about in this room. I'll wait till you're done.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? Still attacking me? You're full of fire. Yeah, so to finish the conversation, we were talking about like building, world building and stuff, and the people that sometimes when they're in studios and they're in charge and they don't believe in themselves in world building or that it has any value or the story. The challenge in those circumstances is that the people that play the game, the audience that don't care about story, awesome. We'll never affect those people. I will never be able to have any effect on them with story. So don't worry about them. The people that do care about story very much want, all the stuff that we're working on. So you have, some portion of the audience that is very dramatically affected by your performance in building a world and building the story out properly.
Right.
So you can't really ever say the argument is like, some people will just click through it. You're like, awesome.
If just hitting the skip cutscene button is enough, like if that is the,
their version of the experience of the story.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Then don't worry about those people. They won't. Nothing I do, good or bad, will affect them. They're going to play for all the excellent mechanics and stuff.
Right.
But you've got to play to the audience that does want this stuff. And
right.
There's like you and me. It's like, man, I want to be in this world that unpacks awesomely and tells me cool things. I understand what happened and it's well imagined, So.
Exactly. And I think that's like, I understand why some people are not into it. Like I think we were talking before about Dark Souls, right? Like there's a lot of folks who just like immediately, I don't care who I am, I don't really care where I'm here, I want just the slightest touch of like, you're a hero, go kill the bad guy. It's like, great, and that's all that I need, and then I'm gonna grind it out, and I'm gonna be the best of the best.
Yep.
But then there's others, like you and I, who are much more, kind of passionate about the narrative and the world, where it's like, it's really important for me, for most games, I won't say all because I play a lot of games, but the games that affect me the most have that really strong narrative, they have strong character arcs, because then it allows, like, there's much more of a fantasy of like, oh, this is a real world, these are real people, this is something that like, I can get inspired by.
You know why this conversation even happens that we're having is because interactive media is so new, because it's as new as computers. Right? You never interacted with a movie or a novel or oral tradition. It was a static story that unfolded and you sat passively. Now that you interact with it, this whole idea is constantly being discussed. How much of this is story, how much of it is mechanic and sport? Nicole! What's wrong?
You look very alive.
She looks very.
Oh no, she's been creepy.
Oh my god. I can't believe you're here.
She does look nice and creepy.
I thought I'd never see you again. I'm gonna get us home. There's an SOS beacon nearby. We can call for help.
Beacon, right. They locked it in the workshop, but my clearance can get us in this way.
See, she's trying to help you. This was at the time in the lore, we thought that the visions might be helpful.
Yeah.
Right? And that persisted all the way to Dead Space 2's development.
I know, we'll have time, I promise. Let's get you that beacon. Everyone's counting on us.
This is painful. Because it's in frame that the visions are helpful, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I want to give up the detail there about what happened. Anyway, the only lesson learned is please don't let your lore stay uncompletely figured out to the end of the development of the second franchise, because it'll be painful for everybody.
I've never seen you at work. You're a surgeon with that thing.
I got your back. Okay. How do I reach you?
No, focus on launching that SOS beacon. There's maintenance ducts everywhere. I'll catch up.
This would have been a difficult scene to write with Isaac
You
talking
see
now.
any more? You hide, okay?
Cross my heart. I love you, Isaac. You can do this. You'll put things back the way they were. And make us whole again.
Uh-oh.
That's the whole trick. So she's helping you because you're going to take the marker back down to Aegis 7, where it's expected to do a convergence event. So that's the entire thread that ties her together as to why she's helping you, because the marker is very manipulative and it's pretty smart.
Yeah.
So, okay, that helps make sense.
We can spoil that, like, that's clearly not her. That is the marker in your head.
Yep,
right?
absolutely.
Was that in the original? Mm-hmm. Oh, it was. Okay.
Yep. I mean, the whole reason he doesn't see her, I can't remember if that was the motivation chain for this scene where she was helping you? Was basically the marker fooling you into getting it, taken off Ishimura and put back down on the planet?
Because having it on the ship, why would it want to get off the ship?
That's a good question. Like, the marker wants a convergence event. Where will that take place? Either it wants to get to Earth and change our biosphere, or there was something on the surface of the planet that was enough for a convergence event. We'll have to see, because I don't think Aegis 7 was populated. But we'd have to kind of analyze that motivation string to see.
Yeah.
But sorry, Motive, you guys had to deal with a little bit of a convoluted lore back to Dead Space 1 with why is Nicole helping you? So I think they did a great job lacing that up. So that scene with Nicole is really good. The only tweak I might have made was that when he saw her, he might have freaked out just a little bit and been like, oh my God, are you alive? Okay. And then he would have calmed back down to where he was in the scene, It was pretty solid.
I agree. It would have been nice for him to be like, how are you still alive?
Like, oh my God! Like, his whole journey is to come here and rescue her. There would have been a bit of a moment where he would have broken down emotionally and been so excited to see her.
Right.
Right? And then you could have done foreshadowing with, like, did she not
respond?
Reciprocate? And was she a little calmer? And he'd been like, are you okay? She's like, I'm fine. So you could have milked that for the opening of that scene craft. And then gone to where they got to, Which is, come to think of it, maybe is why that if you played the original, now that scene's going to be even weirder. Here's this lovelorn engineer coming to find his lost girlfriend when he finds her and says nothing. Oops, how about some more voiceless protagonists? No.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Oh yeah, when he didn't talk, where he's just like staring at her like, oh.
Yeah, he just walks around, and she has to do all the talking. Can you imagine writing that scene?
It's gotta
How
be
do you
awkward.
write that?
Yeah.
Your protagonist finds the thing he's after. He says nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, are you sure?
Yeah, like when we were talking before kind of about like world building and narrative, it is interesting because like you were saying, sometimes depending on the creative direction of the game, there could be a time where it's just like, like the narrative actually isn't that important for our game, which is fine. Like that's totally cool to have like, a hyper competitive game or a tactics game.
Yep.
But I guess the argument you're making, and correct me if I'm wrong, is like even just the slightest touch is helpful. Like even just putting in something a little bit more will strengthen the entire experience.
I think there's an argument to be made because you're not talking about, this might be hard to have this conversation in this, this combat that's coming up, because I know it's coming for you.
Things that
Let's come back to it.
Bam.
Oh.
Goodbye, baby.
Particularly effective against a 3-armed necromorph.
Show me your arms, baby.
Look how creepy those things are still. That's so
just fun them.
Yeah, so to answer your question about games that are more mechanics heavy and they're more sport than they are story, is there any value in wasting time on the capital S setting of the world that unpacks in the frame? I would argue the spend is relatively minimal. You still have to make polygons, you still have to make concept art,
right.
You still have to make all the characters, and there has to be environment art. Why can't that adhere to the invisible hand of well put together design? Like, why can't it tell a story that unpacks just the setting?
Yeah, exactly. Even it's a game like Overwatch, where now Overwatch, I believe, has a story. There's like a single player mode, but even in the past, it's just like they had these fantastic cinematics introducing their characters.
Yep.
Where it's and everybody, I watch those all the time on YouTube, and everyone in the comments is just like, this is phenomenal. It's so inspiring. It's so cool for a competitive, esport.
Right. They didn't need to do it.
You didn't need to do that.
I would even argue their launch trailer or their launch movie was like a Pixar movie launch.
It was phenomenal. I remember too, like that one specifically. I'm going to forget the guy's name, unfortunately, but the creative director of the game, when they announced that, I think it was at E3 or something, and he came out and he had tears in his eyes, and it's just like, and it was such an emotional trailer, and it's like, for a competitive game, and I was immediately like, I am playing this game.
Yep,
right?
Absolutely. But I think that's what's important is that they set up a universe that had a why now, you knew what was going to happen, everything was there was stuff in motion, you got a sense of what was going on, like, it wasn't arguably necessary, but it certainly added to the world and certainly set them up to launch a franchise if they ever wanted to. A transmedia empire, should they want to do that, which is, I think, I just can't imagine why you wouldn't do that. So
yeah,
I thought it was really solid.
I think that's, that point that you just made is something where it's like, even the most, cynical, you know, like capitalist person could understand, like, hey, if you build a backstory and have a world for this, you could maybe write novels about it. You could turn it into a TV show. Like when you have a solid background. When you have a solid.
Excuse me, we're talking.
Sir, do you like
Dr.
stories?
Morph, we're talking about important story stuff.
What's
Stop
your
being a
opinion?
zombie. Yorick.
Yes.
If you have another medium where you get an emotional feeling out of them through some other media, then you have a virtuous cycle of attachment to these assets in your IP through the transmedia. And now people want to come back, and when they play this, it's a different experience to them emotionally, mentally, in the theater of the mind. They're like, oh yeah, I saw this movie where this character did these things, and now I'm playing it. Like, it really adds a huge amount, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I put the SOS beacon in the launch
What
tube,
was that?
but I think the asteroid is in the way. Oh, they have booby trapped.
Well, that's great. We can't just toss the beacon out a window.
There's gotta be something. The asteroid. The one in the mining bay for smelting.
What about it?
If I attach the SOS beacon to that asteroid and then launch it away from the ship, we'd get a clean broadcast.
And you get yourself killed. The machinery in there is still running, Isaac.
Then it probably kept those things out too. This is our best shot, Kendra. I'm taking it.
I love this so much.
That's great.
It's so good. Like, he's like smart. He's got the crazy, risky ideas, right? It's perfect, you know, Robert McKee stuff. Here's our goal. Here's an obstruction. The gap opens. What are you going to do? Oh, something crazier and riskier.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, this space. Look at this space. This was one of our first attempts at a really big, open, like, how are we going to do zero G? Are we going to fly around? Are we, you know, going to do point to point? So these gimbals are, I wonder if they'd kept it in this one. So you have to kind of time, because you got to walk on that surface to get to the outside.
Just giant spikes on them.
Yeah,
That's
and
hilarious.
so they'll kill you. It's supposed to be mining it, so there was supposed to be these big lasers that they were cutting pieces out, like it was some sort of a 3D printer at the nexus, or the junction of those two gimbals.
Yeah.
I don't think they've quite kept it. But what's cool is, remember the room we were in before?
Yeah.
And you had the big, it was problems because there were pieces of asteroids floating free. Well, here's where the pieces of asteroids come from. So if you're paying attention, the world and the setup, you can put them together, and you're like, oh, I'm in the living world. Yay. Okay, now you have to land on the asteroid and run around it to get to outside, which was also one of our first tests of our zero G space, and the audio team and the VFX team. How do we sound like we're in zero G or out in space? Oh, they didn't even. Okay, well, they changed it this way then,
I can just fly.
because you had to walk on the asteroid before we had point to point. That's a pretty good adaptation of that puzzle, dude.
Yeah. Honestly, being able to fly, though, makes this quite a bit less challenging. Because I remember when I had to walk on it, where you're just like, oh God, like you're basically running from this.
Because you were running from those, like,
Yeah.
please don't kill me. And so that was pretty fun. You would get pretty much just turned into body parts when you mistimed it, right?
Yeah. Oh, I have to, okay, so I have to destroy these tethers because I have to get the asteroid out of here now.
Oh, right. So this is another version of our large multi-state rooms. Not quite as multi-state as a centrifuge, but we got this idea, I think, to work with these cool rooms that are fun to... I mean, that a big epic room, like, have you ever seen a room like this in your life, like in games? I'm shocked that it was just such an easy transition from point to point to jetpack, where they didn't even have to change the rooms. They just slight modifications to the puzzles and they're good.
So I know you were talking about how when you were, wait, did I not get it?
What happened?
I thought I got it. Now, where the hell am I?
Good luck.
I've confused the shit out of myself. Where am I? I'm so
Welcome to why
Okay, there we go,
this
Jesus.
is a complicated mechanic.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to ask, is like, what changed? Because I know in Dead Space, you're saying you didn't do it in Dead Space 1 because your players would be like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, it was
what changed to Dead
super
Space 2?
disorienting. Well, we wanted it really bad, and so sometimes you just run out of time to solve all of the problems that a mechanic presents. And on Dead Space 1, we were answering literally every mechanic in the game. Like, what is shooting? What is walking?
Yeah.
What is zero G? There was, it was just too much. We just didn't have time to really solve it to the satisfaction of the quality of the game. So that had to wait till we had more time in Dead Space 2, where all the basic things were figured out, and we just had to spend time on the upgrades to experiences like this.
I see. Launch the asteroid.
Okay.
What a great sci-fi moment. You have to launch an asteroid
Out of the bay of a planet cracker. It's doing its... What I loved about that was all the stuff we're talking about, like the world building, being on the Enterprise, being on these big ships that have a purpose.
He's still here.
He was waiting for us.
Go away, go away.
These guys are really HP heavy. Because when you're in a world that's this real and it's a planet cracker mining a ship, don't you kind of want to see the mining of stuff?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you want to be up close to the fun details of what it's doing. And you know, we've walked through the mechanics of asteroid mining, which is just nice. Oh boy, that problems.
I will say moments like this don't make any sense, but they are cool. There's just flames flying out now.
Yeah, I don't know what caused that, but it's good. It's a good advancement.
It'll do. And I think that this is a really good example, like you were saying, of, you know, we're talking a lot about in earlier episodes about therefore but versus and then. Where it's like, okay, you did find the SOS beacon, that's great. However, this is now broken, so you have to attach it to this.
Yeah, therefore you gotta do these things.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool.
Goodbye.
The beacon's online, broadcasting wideband. I'm the line receiver.
We did it.
Yay.
It'll take a minute. Head on back to the train station.
Okay, thanks, Kendra.
And how, like you were,
Oh, guess what? Well, I just want to go to the tram station.
Oh, God.
One more of these. You're gonna have to die first.
You're gonna have to.
All right, come on.
Oh! Oh, no, this guy. I can't kill him.
Is this the regenerator?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. No. Yeah, cut all his limbs off.
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly. That's great.
That's a great moment.
It is. Them two working together is
Yeah.
super solid.
And Isaac is still telling her what to do.
Yeah. It's so good. I really love, there's something really great too about these.
Give me.
Okay.
Okay, where is it? Oh, Jesus. Oh, he's doing his thing. He's breakdancing on the floor.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's so good. What a great improvement to this whole setup.
I'm leaving.
I don't think we did this in the original, to be honest.
Let me leave.
Oh, wait,
Oh, no.
Oh, and there's another buddy waiting for you.
Excuse me. I'm running. I don't even care. Let me up.
Oh, God.
Let me up.
No.
No.
You gotta change weapons.
Bye. See you later.
Oh, boy. That was great. Because when you're working with somebody remote, it's really nice if you have remote characters. I remember when people used to complain, they're like, are they sitting there like watching you on some magic screen? And like every time you do a thing, they happen to be calling in. You know what's weird, Brian, is back when we were doing this 2005 to 2008, smartphones, GPS, all that stuff wasn't quite as integrated in society as it is now. And it seemed more odd then that somebody would be able to sort of electronically monitor you that way. And now it's like, of course, you know, they would know exactly
clearly
what you're
they
doing.
would know, yeah.
They would have some equal version of what's happening, status with you running, and possibly even remote controlling the lights in your house. Like that was all the future back then. Like that was not remotely normal, and so then people thought it was odd that they were like telepresencing in. You're like, yeah, it's a big Zoom call.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this guy. We should give him a name.
What should we call him?
Sassafrascensko.
Hello, Sassafras. Goodbye, Sassafras.
Goodbye. Oh, that
nope,
didn't seem to do
he
anything.
didn't,
Why
he
did he
didn't care.
He didn't
And
take any
I am out of
damage from
stasis.
that? What is going on?
I think I went the wrong way.
Oh,
Shit.
no. Merp.
Die. This is bad.
Is that him?
Just get out of my way.
Yeah, just turn into pieces and leave me alone.
God damn it.
This is a nice little combat section.
I'm running. Go
Where to seek your rig?
See ya.
Oh, hey, nice. See, and it's nice the mechanic lets you escape too.
Yeah.
I think it's gone, but I can't be sure. Wait, array receiver not responding. Oh shit.
The comms array. We never fixed it. Guess there wasn't a broken encoder.
Oh, nice.
Then let's hope that 48 hours estimate was wrong too. No comms, no rescue.
That was exactly what I was predicting, where it's like, okay, a good therefore but would be, we've launched an SOS beacon, that's great. However, the communications beacon is down.
Yeah. Yep. Ta-da! You did it. You designed Dead Space 1.
You did it.